Good morning, all of you. Welcome to your English 2 class. Hope all of you are doing fine. In this class, I'll be finishing off with the last scene left of the play The Merchant of Venice, that is Act 2, Scene 6. And after going through this, I think we will be completing our half-yearly portion successfully. So, without wasting time, let us come to the chapter directly. So, before we go to Act 2, Scene 6, let us recap what we have read in Act 2, Scene 5. That scene was repleted with dramatic irony, right? We have seen Shylock has entrusted Jessica and had given the house keys to her to take care of Shylock's house, as he was informed that there is going to be a Christian procession outside. And he also asked or advised Jessica to just close all the windows and openings of Shylock's house, so that the shallow foppery will not be able to enter Jessica's ears. Okay. He also asked Jessica to take care of the house in his absence, and whether actually he was not at all willing to attend Bassanio's feast, but he had to do so as he had dreamt of money bags that night, right? So we will see Jessica is planning to elope with Lorenzo, and as soon as Shylock left the house, actually through Lancelot, she will be delivering a letter, and after that their plan would be successful. We will also see Lorenzo has announced that Jessica will be his torch bearer, and he stated every plan to Gratiano. Right? So here the scene actually ended. Now we will read Act 2, Scene 6. So what is there in Act 2, Scene 6? Here we will see Jessica is she is all set to elope with Lorenzo. She is disguised in a page boy's suit, and she is quite ashamed in dressing like that. At the same time, she is also ashamed, as she finds this job of eloping would be somehow diminishing her character, and she is doing wrong to her morality. Okay, and we will see here Gratiano and Salarino, they will be seen wearing the mask, as they are all set for the masquerade arranged by Bassanio that night. And Lorenzo will come to Jessica's home, and they will be just about to leave, and here we will see all of a sudden Antonio will enter the scene, and he will inform about the favorable condition due to the weather. They decided to leave for Belmont, cancelling the masquerade. Okay, so there we will get to see the ending of the scene. So now, without wasting time, let us read line by line. Okay. So as we can see, enter Gratiano, Salarino, masked, and they were there in Venice before Shylock's house. Now Gratiano, this is the paint house under which Lorenzo desired us to make stand. Means, this is the roof under which Lorenzo said us to meet him, as they all were ready and just about to leave for the masquerade. They all were wearing masks, so they were standing there as Lorenzo asked him to wait for him there. Salarino, his hour is almost past, means he is almost late. Gratiano, and it is marvel he outdwells his hour, for lovers even run before the clock. Yes, that's quite surprising, because lovers are usually early. Mockingly, Gratiano is saying that these lovers, whenever they decided to execute any action, they are obviously very early in doing so. So here, to my great surprise, I find he's late. Salarino. Oh, 10 times faster, Venus's pigeon fly to seal love's bond, new made, than they are owned to keep obliged, faith unforfeited. Means, yes, for new lovers, time passes 10 times faster than for couples who have been married forever. Now, Salarino is saying that those who are in love, they are still enjoying that phase. Time flies 10 times faster than Venus's pigeon. Okay, and than the married couple. Because when they are married, that excitement left no more. So when they are in love, while enjoying that phase, they generally time passes 10 times faster, and sometimes faster than Venus's pigeons. Venus is the goddess of love. Graciano. That ever holds, who riseth from a feast with that keen appetite that he sits. That's always true. Who gets up from a meal when same appetite he had when he sat down? Where is the horse that doth untread again his tedious measure with the unbated fire that he did place them first? Can you know about any horse retrace his footsteps with the same energy that he had when he walked them for the first time? All things that are with more spirit chased than enjoyed. How like a younger or a prodigal. Now he is saying that we chase everything in life more excitedly than we actually enjoy it when we get it. Means, whenever the charm and the excitement is there, we generally ask for or long after the thing with wholeheartedly, with much excitement, rather than whenever we get that thing, the excitement becomes lesser. Okay. The sacrificed buck puts from the native bay, hugged and embraced by the strumpet wind. Now here he is saying that it's like when a ship sails out of the harbor with all its flags, it moves so nicely with all its charm and grace, okay, and gently pushed by the wind. Then when the ship actually returns, we can see what? It is hugged and embraced by strumpet wind. Means what? How like the prodigal doth she return, with overrated rib, ragged self, lean, rent, and beggared by the strumpet wind. So when we will see the ships, they have actually returned, we can see due to the terrible weather, they got bitten so badly that their sails are ragged, and the same wind makes the ship thin and poor. So while commencing the journey, the ships were, when it is decorated with its flags and all decor items, when it leaves for its journey, we will see the wind is blowing its flag so smoothly and nicely. But when it returns to the harbor again, we will see the same wind is causing the harm to the flags, and it is all ragged, and as it seems it has beggared, and it is just robbed off, and it looks like a poor ship's which is showing its ribs. Okay, so here actually Graciano, he is quite agreeing with Salarino's speech, and he is saying that whenever we started for anything, we decided to commence anything, the excitement is there to keep that on. But when we get it, when we actually came to the ending of the thing, after achieving that, excitement becomes lesser, and we feel we feel not to be excited anymore for that whatever is already owned by us. Understood? Now Salarino, here comes Lorenzo. More of this hereafter. Means here comes Lorenzo. Let us talk about this afterwards. Enter Lorenzo. Now Lorenzo is entering the scene. Lorenzo, sweet friends, your patience for my long abode. My dear friends, thanks for your patience. But my affairs have made you wait. I had my business that made you wait for so long. When you shall please to play the thieves for wives, I will watch as long for you then. Means when you have to steal your own wives someday, I will wait just you all have waited for me. Because they are waiting for Lorenzo to as Lorenzo was on his way and he will be coming to elope with Jessica, and they are actually assisting Lorenzo. So as Lorenzo was late, he was saying that I will obviously remember this, whatever you did for me, you have waited for me so long, I will also do the same whenever you will be eloping with your wives someday. Okay. Here dwells my father Jew. Who's within? Means here lives my father-in-law. Jew means Shylock. Hey, who's in there? Enter Jessica above, disguised as a boy. Jessica, who are you? Tell me for more certainty. Who are you? Tell me so that I can be sure. Albeit I will swear that I do know your tongue. Okay, though I swear I recognize your voice. So Jessica is saying that, who are you? Tell me more so that I can be certain about that you are that person whom I am waiting for. So rather, even if I am very much sure of your voice, I know who you are. Lorenzo. Lorenzo and thy love. I am Lorenzo, your love. Lorenzo is replying this to Jessica. Jessica. Lorenzo, certain, and my love indeed. For who loved I so much, and now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours? So Jessica is saying that, Lorenzo, that's for sure. And I am also sure that you're my love. Who else do I love so much? And now, who but you know whether I am yours? Lorenzo. Heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art. Only as God is my witness, you know you're mine. These are the foolish talks of love. Jessica. Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains. Here, catch this box. It will be worth your while. I am glad this night. I am glad it is night time. You do not look on me, so that you can't see me. For I am much ashamed of my exchange, as I am much ashamed of my disguise. But love is blind. But I know love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that they themselves commit. And lovers cannot see the, the trivial, petty follies, foolish things that they commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy. Means if they could, Cupid himself would be embarrassed to see me disguised as a boy. as that was a night time, so Jessica is saying that I'm very happy that this is night and you can't see me because I'm ashamed of my attire as I am disguised as a boy. So she's also quoting that love is blind and lovers generally do not see things they are committing in love. These are utter foolishness. So this is obviously an irony. They are committing foolishness and she is just ironically portraying such. And she's also including that if Cupid could have seen her, Cupid would have blushed to see her disguised as a boy. Lorenzo, descend, for you must be my torch bearer. Come down here. You have to be my torch bearer for the masquerade. Jessica, what? Must I hold a candle to my shims? So Jessica is saying that what? I have to hold a candle so that people can see me. They in themselves good sooth are too light. And the truths, see here she is saying that if I hold a candle, it will definitely expose me. Not only the outer self of mine, but also whatever I'm doing that I find quite injustice to my morality. So I think I am too poor to hold a light and to make things visible for everyone. Why? 'Tis an office of discovery, love. And should I be obscure? The torchbearer is supposed to bring light and love, but I should be hidden away in the dark. So she's again, this is ironical. She's saying that whatever she is right now, she is about to perform. This is something to be performed in the dark. And generally, candle brings light and love. And whatever she is doing, that should be hidden inside the dark. Okay. Now, next, Lorenzo. So are you sweet? So are you sweet means yes, you are hidden away, sweetheart. Even the lovely garnish of a boy, but come at once. Dressed up like a boy, even if you are dressed up like a boy. Come on quickly. For the close night doth play the runway as we are stayed for Bassanio's feet. So time flies at night and we are getting late for Bassanio's feast. Jessica, I will make fast the doors, gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight. I will lock up the door quickly and let me grab some more jewels and riches and ducats and I'll be just following you. Exit Jessica above. Jessica went upward. Gratiano. Now by my hood, a gentle and no Jew. Gratiano is saying what? My God, she can't be a Jew. She's too nice. Because witnessing Jessica, anyone will get confused that being a Jew, how can someone be so loyal in love that she couldn't even think of robbing of jewels and riches from her own father, and she remained a constant an example of constant loyalty to Lorenzo. So after watching her loyalty to Lorenzo and how much she was firm to execute her plans, Gratiano is remarking that she can't be a Jew. She must be a Christian. She's so nice. Lorenzo, beshrew me, but I love her heartedly. God, I'm crazy about her. For she is wise. If I can judge of her, if I am judging her tonight, I can say she is wise. And fair she is, means she is beautiful. If that mine eyes be true, means if mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she hath proved herself, and therefore like herself wise, fair and true, shall she be placed in my constant soul. Now he is saying that, and she is loyal, and she has proven to be loyal, beautiful, wise, and truthful, faithful all the time. That is why she is placed in my heart. Now enter Jessica. What, art thou come? On, gentleman, away. Ah, you are here. Come on, gentlemen. Our masquerading mates by this time for us stay. Let's go. Our masquerade mates are waiting for us. Now exit Lorenzo, Jessica, Salarino. Now enter Antonio in the scene. Antonio. Who's there? Antonio. Graciano to his reply. Senior Antonio. Now Antonio entered the scene, and then Antonio started saying, Fie, Graciano, where are all the rest? Graciano, it's shameful, where are others? 'Tis 9 o'clock, means it's 9 o'clock. Our friends all stay for you. No mask tonight. All our friends are waiting for you. No masquerade will be held tonight. The wind is come about. The wind is blowing right. It is found favorable. Bassanio presently will go abroad. I have sent 20 out to seek for you. Bassanio is going to abroad immediately. I have sent 20 people in search of you. Graciano, I'm glad on't. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight. I am very much glad. I want to head out tonight, means I want nothing else. I am very happy that finally we are leaving for Belmont. Okay, so here ends the scene. Let us discuss Jessica's character as it is being portrayed in the scene particularly. So Jessica appears to be embarrassed in the beginning of the scene at being disguised as a boy and being the torchbearer. Cupid himself, she tells Lorenzo, would blush seeing her dressed as a boy. But as soon as she is reassured by Lorenzo that she looks beautiful even if in disguised as a boy, she forgets her shyness and reverts to her pettiness, telling more of her father ducats. And it also shows here that she is quite a disloyal daughter to her father, because she never thought twice before stealing his father's ducats, riches, jewels and other objects. And also she is somehow, back of her mind, very shameful about the fact that she has been eloping with Lorenzo, and she'll be asked to hold the candlelight that night, because candle generally brings love and light, but she is doing something that she has found to be committed in dark and something very much immoral. Okay, so we have seen this Jessica's character here, and Shylock's vindictiveness is also very important. The scene serves a dual purpose actually. First, it hardens Shylock's desire for revenge. His own daughter elopes with Lorenzo and renounces her religion to marry him. In all these acts, Jessica is helped by Shylock's enemies, and this embitters Shylock and makes him more hostile to Christians. Second, it arouses audience sympathy for Shylock. Shylock turns his daughter, and actually Shylock trusts his daughter much and hands over the keys of his house, but to his great shock, she will be doing the exactly opposite, never expected by Shylock, even in his night maze. As such, Shylock is wronged by his daughter. This actually provides some justification to his vindictiveness. Okay, so I'm going to end this discussion here. This material will be served in the study material section. please have a look and follow the class. For further clarification, do ask me. I am there to solve it out for you. And after this, from the next week onwards, we are going to commence our revision classes. So be very cautious and read all the question answers that had been supplied already, and go through all the study materials. And in the live classes also, while the interaction process will begin, you will be asked several questions based on this video classes. So be prepared for that. Have a great day ahead. Do attend all the classes. Exam is just round the corner, so prepare yourself well. We'll meet in the next class, and thank you.